Good evening, everyone. It's a really excited evening for me. The background from which I come from, it's like a great opportunity, I would say, to expose myself with you all here. So I'm going to briefly talk about how my life journey was so far, how turns and twists in each step of my life. One day, I might be around 7 to 8 years. I got up hearing to the sound, sizzling sound from a kitchen, and a few people are talking in distance. Probably they were waiting for my grandfather to meet, and everyone in home this day were excited, and my mom was busy packing all the clothes. And this is a day on which I'll be departing from my home to a boarding school. So even I was excited hearing about a boarding school, living away from the home. And that day, the city was around like an overnight journey from my hometown. So my grandfather took me there. And the next day, when I arrived there, we did some basic shopping and took me around different restaurants, and all exciting. Fun things are happening right now. And when I actually went to the school, when he is gonna leave me there, it was completely a different story. No familiar faces. There is no familiar food. There is no familiar dialect, what I used to talk back in home. India is like unity in a diversity. Every 100 miles, you see the difference in all the culture, food culture, dressing, everything. So I'm like 7 to 8 years old. I could not take so much of change within a day. I start. My grandfather left me, and I started crying. I started crying for a stretch with non-stop 2 months. No one even from my home bothered to talk to me over a phone. I was completely shocked being there. Then all of a sudden, one fine day, my grandfather showed up with one of my first cousins. Oh God! Someone with me here now. So his plan was to leave my cousin there with me so that he can accompany me. So that's where like little courage came in to me that okay, I can study here, I can be in a boarding school, and somehow I managed to complete my studies there for a couple of years. And due to different circumstances, I was required to switch between the multiple schools and multiple cities. And during vacations, I used to visit back to the home. And whenever I visit home, I used to hear only the one thing: you are the one studying, that too away from the home, do good studies. And none of my grandmother used to tell, like, none of my kids have graduated. You should be complete your education. You should graduate. These are, like all the things I keep on hearing. And I was able to complete my 12th grade. And then I decided to take up engineering. When I took engineering, all these things, whatever I heard while growing up, that started pressurizing me, that making sure I need to graduate. No matter what, I need to graduate. So, I started studying hard, working hard. Overnight, I used to sit and prepare for examination and do everything, whatever is required for the completing the graduation. But when actual examination day comes in, I used to go up until the hall. If I feel like a little low confidence, like, oh God, I'm not going to pass this, then come back. Don't even write an exam. Any which ways you are going to fail. Why to attempt it? That's how I mean, like a couple of times. I mean, more than 3, 4 times I skipped exams, but somehow I was able to complete my engineering. And as soon as I completed the engineering, the another hurdle came in. Like I need to find a job. I mean, like I'm not that fluent in English, and no, I mean, like facing the interview was a challenge, and it was really hard for me. I mean, I tried my best to find a job on my own, but I could not. I mean, it took a while. However, I mean, like I was fortunate enough that one of my distant relative offered me a job with no interview. Then, okay, I mean, this is a fantastic opportunity. Let's take up. I mean, he gave me a favor. At the same time, this is a pressure on me to make sure that his trust in me should not go in waste. I should work hard to myself in the whatever the opportunity he gave to me. So I put in a lot of effort in my professional career. I used to work day in, day out, even over the weekends if required. And all this hard work was recognized, was seen somewhere. And I had exponential growth. And at the same time, for the client for which I was working, they had an requirement that engineer needs to be at their premises. That's in New York. That's where then US door opened to me. Like all the legal documents were in place and everything went through, immigration documents, everything went through, and one day I landed in New York. Again, I always used to see New York in the movies, I mean, like Bollywood movies. I mean, with so many skyscrapers and so huge buildings, narrow roads, everything in the movie. I mean, it was reality. I could not, I mean, digest that reality. Okay, I mean, somehow, I mean, I need to digest this. And the anxiety pushed in. Will I be able to survive here? The people all around me are so well dressed, so sophisticated. I mean, I could not open my mouth with a fear saying that if I tell something, what if they interpret in a wrong way? I mean, I was not so familiar, I mean, not at all familiar, not even familiar with any of such kind of cultures. So it took me like more than a year and a half to start speaking in meetings. One day, I mean, the first day I went to the office, I mean, I looked at 4 elevator banks, each bank having 8 elevators. Oh God, where I am? This is World Financial Center. It's on the bank of Hudson River, next to the Liberty Statue. I can see the Liberty Statue over the window. I could not, I mean, all these things I have witnessed only in movies, not in reality. So, I mean, I was, but at the same time, whatever I mean, initial 2 to 3 years, I never spoke in any of the meetings. I never gave my feedback, my opinion, or anything. I just used to silently listen in, note down, work on that. What is required is done. Again, the same thing. All my hard work and efforts were recognized, and I got exponential growth here in New York also. And at the same time, the day arrived for me to get married. I did, I mean, back to back 5, 6 trips in the same year to India, got married. And I was excited to be back in New York with my wife. Had, I mean, like few fun things. all going around the New York, having different cuisines, and restaurants, and everything. We all had fun. We both together, and at the same time, she started telling me that I need to switch the job because we had a very tiny apartment. It's you enter, it's complete. It's like a very tiny apartment. She started insisting me to change a job. But changing a job for me was not that easy. I mean, I got an opportunity with no interview. I mean, I didn't even dare to change a job back in India. Now, after coming to the US, changing the job was not easy at all. But with all the courage and support given from her, I was able to switch my job. I changed the job and I'm now in Raleigh working for one of the biggest investment bank. So far, I mean, this is my journey in my life. It's adventurous. I, uh, I mean, I would say like it's very adventurous life journey I had so far. Thank you.